day after the 4th of July. How's everybody doing? I hope you all had a great day yesterday. I I had a very nice 4th of July. I didn't really do anything different. I kind of just did my same routine, but I absolutely had a great day. Indy did not like the fireworks at all. Nope, she was not having anything to do with the fireworks. And I had to actually, I found some old medication. It wasn't expired, but we got this last year for Indy when she had her skin infection from her allergies. So it was a sedation. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to give this to Indy. She's going to just be fine. She's going to be like, yeah, you know what? I hear fireworks, but it's okay. They're not bothering me. That's not how it turned out. She did not like the fireworks. So she poor girl. I had two choices. I could either crawl under the bed and hang out with her there, or I could relocate her somewhere else, which is exactly what I did. So what we ended up doing is, yeah, what we ended up sitting in the bathroom because I have a bathroom. I have a single story house, and in the middle of my house is a bathroom. And I figured that was going to be the most soundproof room in my house. So I'm like, I'm just going to get her in there. So I got her some snacks and we got into the bathroom before the fireworks started because where my house is located, I don't like fireworks either, Linda. Where my house is located is we have a fireworks show down the street and then I have a fireworks show at the casino that way. So there was like, it was everywhere. And let alone the people over there who decided to do their own fireworks show. And I'm just like, you know what? What's going on? It's 2023. We are in a high fire zone. What point does it seem like a good idea to be lighting fireworks? So anyway, so I'm just like, this isn't going to work. The medication didn't work. So Andy and I ended up in the bathroom. Hello, D. Shepherd. Hello, April. So we ended up in the bathroom and let's see. Oops, hold on here. I think I, you know what's really weird is I'm doing it again and I don't know why I'm doing this again. But for some reason I had it all set up so that my pictures worked. And now my pictures aren't working. And I did this yesterday. Yesterday I had that really weird kind of like moment where there was just nothing was going on except for me trying to figure out how to do this. Let's see if this works. Yes. Okay. It worked. But this is me and Indy in the bathroom. I had to lure her in there. I had to lure her out from underneath the bed with these biscuits. And then we sat on the bathroom floor while we waited for the fireworks to be over. And she was such a sweet girl. She really did good. Oh, and by the way, I had my 80s music blaring because I was like, I'm going to drown out the fireworks sounds. And I think you know what, truthfully, I think that I did a pretty good job. And Linda, I thought about that as I was crawling underneath the bed. Hello, Pamela. As I was crawling underneath the bed to try to get her out from underneath the bed, I'm like, I should have bought her a Thunder shirt and I'm going to get her one because I mean, Indy's a great dog, but she has a little bit of anxiety. She always has. She's just a big scaredy cat. So I have to get her one of those. But so I'm sitting there, I'm listening to 80s music, I'm singing to her, and I'm giving her her little treats. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's keep her occupied because I went straight back to my mom mode. And I remembered like trying to keep my kids occupied. So I was opening up the drawers in the bathroom so she could like sniff around and try to keep herself occupied. And that's what I did yesterday. So we got through the 4th of July. And I'm super happy about that. Now, let's see, what was I going to say? Oh, I am still just all about the whole ducking warriors. Yesterday on the live, we were talking about being ducking warriors, and I'm so obsessed with this that I actually looked into starting up a like a store to where Pamela says, "Oh, Thunder shirt was helpful for my dog. Sounds like you did a um, great with Indy." Yeah, no, we definitely had some bonding time last night. Tracy says my chocolate lab Wrigley hates the fireworks. We were up until 2 a.m. until they stopped. Okay, really quick, and then we're going to talk about ducking warriors. But I absolutely agree, and I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to say it right here, right now. I think fireworks are outdated. All right. Again, I live in a high fire zone, and I think blowing things up in the sky is outdated. I've been seeing all these kind of things about drone shows, which to me seems so much more environmentally friendly because I got a notice on my phone that the air quality in my area today is not healthy due to all the fireworks. So in my mind, I'm like, let's put two and two together. High fire zone scares the pants off of my dog, and it's not environmentally friendly. What should we do? And sometimes I think that we just need to modernize our train of thought. And I'm going to say it right here, right now. We need to ditch the fireworks and go more for drone shows. There, I said it. I'm speaking up for the doggies. So back to ducking warriors. I'm looking into starting a let's see. Okay, Pamela says yes. You agree. Good. See, we always think the same way. So I want to start a shop to where we can produce or where I will be producing some t-shirts, and one of them is going to be a ducking warrior t-shirt. That's okay, Pamela. I know what you're saying. We used to have big fireworks display here in Edinburgh Festival, but it has now been canceled. You know what, during COVID, when they didn't have the fireworks show, I was not disappointed. But I'm gonna start producing some T-shirts, and one of them is going to be the Ducking Warriors. We're gonna do one where, or I'm gonna do one where it's like the word beige, and then it's gonna have a circle with a line through it, and it's gonna be like no beige. Fierce over 50, something like that. Good morning, Tiggy. And then again, the gray hair and tattoos one, where I have Rosie the Riveter, but she's got all tattoos. So I am going to be working on something like that because I was still cracking myself up this morning. I'm still like, haha, ducking warriors. That's what we are. We are warriors. So if you weren't on my live yesterday, we were talking about that. And it is so true. We are warriors. So I'm going to be buzz cutting my hair, and I have everything right here, and I am going to do it. I'm just not going to do it first because I have a tendency to, Pamela says, love the t-shirt ideas. Good. I think they're going to be super cute. And I want to do it's like almost like a print to order kind of thing. So then that way I don't have like a massive amounts and then I have to sit there and ship them out to you. But it's something like if you want it, then you can get it. And I think it would be really fun. And I think I would like a shirt like that. So I am going to be buzzing my hair. I posted my video of when I went to San Francisco and visited my friend and barber Ken. Absolutely love him. And it was a fun video. And I just have so much fun hanging out with him. But it's more than just a haircut, all right? It is so empowering. It is so freeing. But that doesn't mean that it's for everyone. And when I say that is like, I think we all have a version of who we want to look like on the inside. And it's when you let it out on the outside, that's when true freedom and that's where true confidence and that's where true style come from. It's about looking the way that you think you need to look, not looking like something like other people tell you to look or some version of you like you think you're supposed to look. Tiggy says, I just did my hair and had to run and take a shower because it drives me bonkers. I know. When I first started buzzing my hair on a video, I did not have my cape. And of course, I had to have clothes on because it's not one of those channels. But before I started doing it on videos, I would just stand there, I'd buzz my hair before my shower, and then I jump in the shower. Easy peasy, right? Well, when I decided to start doing videos showing me buzzing my hair, I'm like, I gotta wear something. So I would like have my gym clothes on or something like that. And the little splinters from buzzing my hair was it's insane. And it got to the point where I would put on a pair of gym pants that I wore when I was buzzing my hair, and it was like a porcupine pants turned inside out. It was not enjoyable. Be right back. Have to switch my tablet. Okay, I won't start until you get back, Kelly. So I am going to be buzzing my hair. Absolutely love it. I posted my video. Absolutely love him. But we're going to do it just in a minute because, like I said, I'm going to have little hair splinters over me. So I found another video that I watched talking about how women are supposed to, because I did a reaction to a video about, what was that video that I did about how we were supposed to make men be more masculine. We were supposed to be more feminine in order to make men more masculine. And that really got under my skin. Well, since I watched that video, now a lot of my recommendations for viewing are videos along this line. And I found one that popped up, and I decided to watch it before I came live because I want to talk to you about this because I think these things are important. One, I think women are just absolutely categorized for what they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to look like, how they're supposed to act, all of the above. So I saw this video and it intrigued me because I really thought that we were going to have another video about how we're supposed to adjust ourselves in order to find a mate or to make that or to make that other person feel good. And the title of this one is 5 Attractive Things That Tell Men You Have Class. I wasn't a fan of the title, all right? For one thing, I don't need to tell anybody I have class. I know I do, and truthfully, that's perfectly enough for me. But I decided to watch the video again in the spirit of sharing this kind of information with you. And I have to tell you, I was somewhat surprised because I thought it was really going to go into more of like what we're supposed to. Thank you, April. I know that was my reaction. I thought it was, let me tell you what it was, and then I'm going to tell me if you have the same reaction I do. But they said by having class, you're going to tell your suitor whether or not you're looking for a long-term relationship or something casual. Well, we're going to read through the lines and we all know what he's saying. You know, is this somebody I want to date or is this a booty call? I mean, that's really what it's saying. And truthfully, I think that we are modernized enough. Yay, Kelly's back. I think we're modernized enough that, you know what, if a woman wants a booty call, then that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This isn't a one-way street, all right? Women are just as much as allowed to do things as men are in dating and their personal lives. Period. End of story. So maybe the woman is looking at the man like, maybe I want a relationship with him and maybe I don't. Maybe I just want this to be casual. So to me, again, we need to, just like the fireworks, we need to get with the times. We need to know that this is an equal opportunity world. But I kept listening. Now, they kind of did that whole acronym thing where they did CLASS. So the first thing that they mentioned, Linda says that is insulting to men too, because how do they know that what every man is looking for? Exactly. And you know what? And to me, it's like the more that we can be ourselves, the less mixed signals there are. All right. If we go into a relationship, if we go into a scenario where we're having dinner for the first time with a gentleman and we are trying to be somebody other than ourselves, that's all sorts of mixed signals. You know, when we go in and we're confident and we have our own our own sense of being, our own style, our own energy, our own look, then we don't have to worry about these mixed signals because it's very evident right there sitting in front of you. So the first thing that they talked about was, and this is what was surprising me. And April, this is why I was a little like, maybe it's not what I think it is. But they said that the first thing a woman should have is confidence. And I agree. You know what? We need to be confident in who we are. We need to be confident in what we want. Again, going into a meeting with somebody who we want to perhaps date or have a relationship with, we need to have confidence, and we need to go in not being like, oh, are they going to like me? What are they going to think about me? Am I going to be good enough? No, you have to just be confident in yourself. So after I saw the first one, I'm like, maybe I'm not going to rip this one apart as much as I thought I was, because I happen to agree. I think women need to be more confident, because when you're confident, according to them, it means class. I think class means something else, but I'm not going to argue with this one. So we're just going to go with that. The Radical Healing Rebellion. Hi from Kentucky. I wanted to buzz my hair ever since my daughter did it back in 2021, but was too scared because of a birthmark. Your videos gave me the courage to finally do it. Thank you. That is awesome. See, I think that birthmarks, scars, anything like that are to be celebrated. All right. A birthmark, a scar, that just shows that we have life. It shows that we have individuality. I am so glad that you did it. And to me, that makes me happy. So good job. Welcome. And that's awesome. All right. So confidence. Couldn't argue with that. We do need more confidence. Okay. Second one, starting with the L, says lives above the line. And I'm like, what in the heck does that mean? And basically they were saying that they don't stoop to other people's levels. If somebody, if in the scenario that he did, it's like, if you're out with somebody and somebody is met with like a rude person, that you're confident enough that you don't have to match energies with that. Yeah, April, so far so good. I know. So you don't have to stoop down to that person's level. If you're out and somebody says, again, something rude to you, you don't have to be equally as rude, which to me, it's like, depending on the situation. I mean, to me, that's a fine line. But I agree with what he's saying. I mean, it's like if you go out and somebody's doing kind of a cringy sort of thing, you don't need to be cringy also to fit in. That I will agree to. If somebody's openly rude to me and I want to clap back at them, I'm going to clap back because I have the confidence to do so. So just know yourself, know your confidence, and stay at that level. Yeah, I couldn't disagree with them. I agree completely. Because sometimes if you don't have that confidence, you try to fit in a little bit more with your surroundings, and you give up your identity a little bit when you do that. So I have to agree with that one. Okay, so for the A, they said accountability. And accountability is basically you do what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And I'm like, you know what? This is really, again, the title was so different than what they are talking about, and I couldn't disagree with this. I mean, I think a confident woman is accountable for her actions. If I do something wrong, I'll be like, yeah, gosh, you know what? I did this, and it was probably not the best thing to do, but I did it, and I'm going to take accountability for it. So I was just like, I can't rip this one apart. It's just because it's true. And it's all coming from that confidence. We need more of that confidence going into this so we can stay in our lane and we can be accountable for our actions. Yes, April, I was totally there with you because I was gagging when I started this video and I was ready for a fight. And I'm like, this one surprised me. Okay, so for the S, self-respect. And I'm like, You're absolutely right. We need more self respect for ourselves. And in whatever form or fashion that we choose to live our lives, we need to have self respect for that. And we need to have self respect for others. So if you're out and your date is looking for a more casual one and you're looking for a more serious one, you can have the self respect to be like, you know what, that's not what I'm into. I respect you for your dating and however you want to do it. Not for me, because I have the confidence to say this and I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm not going to lower myself just to become, part of the crowd. And I am going to be accountable if I did that. So I'm like, yep, nope, you got that one. We all need to have a little bit more self respect. And then style. And okay, so I'm sitting there and I'm at the very last S and I'm like, oh, style. Okay, this is it. I'm going to be argumentative. They're going to say something that's going to piss me off. And I'm going to be like, see, I told you this was one of those videos and I am going to just jump all over this one. But they surprised me on this one also because they said style without being self-assuming, meaning that if you sometimes we have a tendency to hide behind our styles. Sometimes we have a tendency to have styles that are over, how can I put this without being offensive? Because I really don't want to be offensive. But have you ever been someplace where somebody has a style and that style is because they just have to be the center of attention? And while I always say wear what you want, sometimes that style comes from a place of insecurity. And this all goes back to confidence. And so basically what they were saying is like have a style, be confident in it, and don't, yeah, Lonni, you have all it. Oh, well, thank you, April. It's like having a confident style, not having a style to where you're like, I think that this is what somebody wants to wear, so I'm going to be really conscientious about it. It's not one of those styles where it's like, gosh, you know what? I look so much better than you, so I'm just going to spend my entire time looking in the mirror or my reflection. It's a style with confidence. And I, again, just have to tell you that I didn't have anything to argue about on this one. So in summary, it's having confidence, it's living above the line, just basically like be confident in who you are and you don't have to lower your stand. You don't have to lower who you are to fit in. Have accountability for your actions, have self-respect, and have confidence in your style. So you surprised me on that one, and I am an equal opportunity video reviewer. And if you surprise me, then I'm going to tell you you surprised me, and you surprised me. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Now it's time to buzz my hair, and I'm super excited. Listen, like, oh God, I got that really close to my face. I'm like, wah. I have my clipper all charged up and we are going to do my hair. Now, I'm doing it a little bit differently today. And what I'm doing different is I'm going to go lower on my guards. I've been using, when I first started buzzing my own hair, I was using a 12 guard. Now, when I talk about guards, what it is you have your clipper, okay? You have your little clipper, and then you have different guards that you can put on your clipper that will cut your hair to certain lengths, right? Yeah, that's what we do. And so when I started doing my own, I was a little hesitant. I mean, it was scary. I was buzzing my own hair. I started with a 16, all right? But that's too long. My style has it has shortened. It has definitely developed into its own. So 16 is too large. And then I went down to a 12. And I'm like, ooh, look at me be all fancy with a 12 guard. But I have since developed a little bit of a shorter style. So now this is too long. So then I'm like, ooh, we are going to do this is the 12. Then I went down to a 9 guard. And I even want to go shorter than a 9 guard because when I went to San Francisco and when Ken cut my hair, he actually used a 1, 2, and a 3. Now he has a different brand of a clipper than I do. He has a wall clipper, which is a larger clipper. I like a little bit of a smaller clipper because it's easier for me to handle. So my number guards are different than what he uses. So I have been kind of calculating what I think I'm going to get the closest results. And I'm thinking I am going to use, because I have all sorts of different ones here. I think I'm going to use if I could read this, I would tell you. So here's a little treat for you. When you get older, you need to have a little flashlight on your phone so you can read small print. So I'm going to do, okay, because we have a 7, a 5, a 3, and a 1. And I think I'm going to do a 3 right here on the back. I'm going to use the 5 a little bit higher up because I'm going to try to give myself a fade. You know what? If we're going to do this, we might as well try to do it fancy. And then I'm going to do a 7 on top, which is lower than I have done. Now, I rewatched the video that I posted today, the one where he was buzzing my hair for me. And I noticed that when I buzz my hair, I'm like, bzzz. Do you like the sound effects? Bzzz. It's almost like we're doing it together. Bzzz. I cracked myself up. But he was doing it. He's like, near, 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 near. And I believe he was doing that. I should have asked him. I guess I could text him. But he does that to get like my little calyx moving around. Linda says, mine is a 1 on the sides. Cool. Lauren says, I go straight for the 0, which is basically bald in its own without any guards. That's cool. I've accidentally done that. I did that one time where in the beginning when I started buzzing my hair, I was all nervous and I'm like, and hair was flying everywhere. And I'm like, that's really weird. It's never made that noise before. I've never lost that much hair before. Gosh, I wonder what that was all about. I did it again and I'm like, no, that's not right, Lonni. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, I forgot the guard. And I buzzed 2 little racing stripes in the back side of my head. And I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. It's just hair. It will grow. I talked to people like this for a really long time because I didn't, not for really, for like a week, because I didn't want them to see my little buzz. But I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So I have done that, but on accident. Now, I do want to tell you that I do get a lot of comments about people saying that they want to buzz their hair, but they have really thin hair. And I don't have thin hair, but I will tell you that when I buzzed my hair that really dark blue, remember that little incident that we had? I noticed that I could see my scalp through my hair much more than I can when it's gray. So if you're out there and you want to buzz your hair, but you're worried about if your hair's too thin, I say my suggestion is to go lighter on your hair color and to go a little bit shorter on your blade because you're not going to really see the scalp compared to your hair if your hair is lighter. That's just my suggestion. Tiki said, I had that cut once, laugh out loud. I did mine in unison with my best friend who lost her hair for cancer, so I just went buzz. It itched so bad. You know, I have not had any itching at all with my hair, but I've never gone completely bald and let it grow back in. I was actually going to shave my head when my sister was alive because she had cancer. But she asked me not to. She's like, please don't cut your hair like that. She goes, when I see you, I want to see healthy you. I don't want to see a version of you. I don't want to see a version of me in you. So I had to respect her wishes, and I didn't buzz my hair back then. But I was going to shave my head, and I was going to actually I was going to get a head tattoo, and it was going to say F cancer, and I never did it. So maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll just shave it off and get my head tattoo and then let it grow back again. Because you know what? It's like you can't see it really underneath there. Or maybe I'll go up the sides and then that way you can really just barely see it. But I've heard that hurts. I mean, this didn't feel great, but I've heard this hurts. So anyway, back to buzzing my hair. Best thing I ever bought for $10 is this little cape. And I get all sorts of comments all the time about whether or not I'm wearing it the right way or if I have it on backwards. I don't really think there's a right way and a wrong way as long as it keeps the hair off of me. So I'm going to it's hot. And I'm going to clear off my desk a little bit because I am going to get hair everywhere. And the last thing I want to do is get hair in my speaker of my GoPro. I don't really want to get hair on my computer. So let's put this here. Look at us go. We're like making a little mini barber shop right here. Yes, F cancer. Absolutely. I have a t-shirt that says that. And you'd be surprised how many people give me weird looks. Or you'd be surprised like, I don't really think that's appropriate. And that's the last thing they hear before I jump down their throats. Because you know what? It's the truth. And it sucks and it steals people's lives and it takes people away. It took people away that I love. April said 2 months ago I shaved my buzz with shaving gel and a razor. Oh, it does itch. Oh, cool. That's something. I don't know if I want to do that then. Okay. I have my little brush so I can beep, 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 brush little hairs off my face. This is something new that I'm incorporating. Grant nicely so won't do that again. Yeah, no, I'll leave that to you, ladies. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. And, all right, so starting, I'm a little nervous. I haven't been nervous to buzz my hair in a really long time, but I am. This is exciting. So let's see here. I want to make sure that I'm starting with the right one. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 3. Yes, that's a 3. And I hear people all the time. They're like, oh, it sucks to get old. It doesn't suck to get old. You just have to do something. Sky Pastel says, F cancer, destroyer of dreams. Absolutely. You know, it's just, it gives me a pit in the, it gives me a lump in the pit of my stomach. My mom actually had a form of cancer. It was really weird. It was where her body stopped making red blood cells. So she would have to go and have chemo for that. And it was the weirdest thing. It was like she wasn't anemic. Her body just didn't make red blood cells. I mean, it was just, she had iron, but it was just, it's weird how many different things that can happen. Hi, Lonni, just got here. What'd you miss? Kathy, nothing, because I'm about ready to start. All right. So I'm going in with the 3, and ideally what I want to do is I'm going to just go up the sides right. I'm going to go up like the back here and then along right there. And I just happen to have my handy dandy mirror that I have learned in the past how important it is to have a mirror on standby. There you go. Kelly says, last time I went through chemo, 2016, my chairmate was an 83-year-old lady who had double mastectomy, and she had her F cancer T-shirts and hoodies. She was the epitome of a rock star. Yes. You know, my aunt had breast cancer in her 80s, and she had the double mastectomy, and she had her breasts put right back on. She's like, nope, I want them back, and she got them back. All right, going in. I think I'm going to start with a 5. All right, I think a 3 is going to be too low because I can always go back in and go lower. So let's start with a 5 because I want to make sure that I do this right. Starting with a 5, if I want to go lower, I'll go to the 3. So I'm going to do the 5 and the 7, and I'm going to see how that is. Okay. Okay, I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. How's it look? It feels fine. Because one thing I've noticed that drives me crazy is, yes, you can take more off, but you can put it back. But you can't put it back, yes. So one thing I've noticed is that when I buzz my own hair, I have a tendency to forget this little area right here, or I can't get to it properly. So I'll be sitting there and I'll be playing with my hair. I can like twirl my little hairs right there. I can disguise it, but I push it up. Okay, so Courtney says, I wish they would have given me a double. I didn't know if I trust that he can match them up. Oh, I get it. Well, you know what? If they're not perfect, they're still yours, Courtney. You know, and I love you dearly, and whether or not your boobs match or not, I will love you. Yeah, I think it just gives you more personality. So let's go back in, and we're going to do another swipe. I want to make sure. Can you hear that? As long as I can hear that, I know I'm still catching hair. That's how scientific this is. Okay, I was concentrating there for a minute. I think one of the reasons why I was so nervous about buzzing my hair this time is because I really, really, really liked the last haircut Ken gave me. And I didn't want to ruin it, but I don't think I'm ruining it. It is something that I want to try really hard to maintain. I'm glad that I changed to a 5. I think a 3 would have been a little bit hard for me to deal with. I'm probably, remember I told you right here at the base of my neck where I have a hard time trimming that myself. Most likely I'm going to go in with a 3 right there just because it's a weird angle. But going back in one more time with my 5, and then I'm going to switch to 7. Still concentrating. Okay. So Kelly says no lumpectomy both times now. Consultation Friday about going for single mastectomy. So I'm assuming that that one lump was bad, and I am so sorry, Kelly. I um, sending you my hugs, my loves, and see, here's the and I'm always very careful about talking about this subject because I never want to be that person who claims to be like, oh, I know what you're going through, because I don't know what you're going through. But I do want to let you know that my personal I've had some lumpectomies, and I've always looked at it like, you know what? Breasts don't make me a woman and breasts don't make me feminine. And if I had to lose one, I would lose one or both. And if that's the case, just I just want you to know that, and I love you, and we are here to support you. So, and again, like I said, I never want to be that person who's like, who's like offers you advice, because you know what, it's not easy, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so we're going in now with a 7. Yes, and we have a community of strong women here, and I know I'm not near you, but if there's anything I can do for you, I do want, just let me know. So going in with a 7. Now on this one, I am going to go. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kelly. I do love you. But I just want to be respectful. I mean, out of everything, I want to be respectful. So I think the 7 is perfect to keep that cut that I got. Can you see it like raining down on me? The 7 actually might be a little bit shorter than he did, but I'm okay with that because I have a little bit of, yeah, it was definitely shorter than what he did, but I'm okay with that. And we hear some buzzing. Yes, we all have hugs. Yay. Okay. Yes, yes. So the 7 was shorter. I can tell that it was shorter. Tiggy says my husband just walked in and said hide the clippers. You know what? I tell your husband to pipe down, Piper. All right. So now I'm going to use my little brush because it's driving me crazy, but I don't want to rub the hair into my face. So remember I told you on the video, I was watching it this morning because I wanted some tips on how to do it. Um, I have those two cowlicks right here, and he went back and forth. He was just kind of like, bzz, 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 bzz. So that's what I'm going to do right here on the tops of my heads right there, because I have two cowlicks right there. So let's see if I can take care of those. That drives me crazy because I'll buzz my hair and then, oh, cool. Linda says it looks really good, nice and cool for summer. I have, here's a thought. In hindsight, don't put lip gloss on before you buzz your hair, because you will end up with hairy lips, and that's exactly what I have. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to do my cowlicks right here. Mm-hmm. Just being a little bit more like he did, where he went back and forth. So let's see how that's going to work. Because you can, and again, I always say like you can hear, but I go a lot off of sound because once my clippers stop making that noise, then I know that I got an even cut. That's how unscientific this is. So I want to make sure I always have spiky beaver cleaver hair when I can't get the cowlick out. Yep, I totally get that. Now this cape is incredibly warm, but when I first started buzzing my hair, I didn't realize that you have to go down in your hairline right here, because I'd be getting ready in the morning and I'd be like, wow, that's a really long hair. So I'm going to go in with my 7 and I'm going to clean up all around the frame of my face. Going down a little bit farther than I normally did. And we're going to go back and forth. Back and forth. So I did the 5 in the back, the 7 on the top. And I think we got it pretty good because I can't hear anymore. I don't hear the crunching. Oh, Kelly or Tiggy says, my son says the same thing when he does his, he goes by the sound. Yeah, and it's weird because I've had people be like, well, what about the back of your hair? You know, do you use a mirror for the back of your hair and the back of your head? And I don't, because not only do I go by sound, but I go by feel. So I'll be feeling around and I will see if I can feel like any different little spots that I might have missed. So clean up, clean up, clean up. Cleaning up. Okay, now let's go in one more time because I want it to look good. Let's see. There we go. Now, do you hear the difference? I don't hear any more crunching. Remember when Demi Moore did her hair for G.I. Jane? She has nothing on us, girl. Nope, I can't do a pull-up, but hair-wise, she's got nothing. So that sounded like I got it all. And feel-wise, I don't feel any extra right there. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to go in with that 3, because what I want to do is, hold on here. Ooh, that's a 1. Can't do that one. That's the 5. Here's the 3. Okay. I want to go in just really quick on the base of my neck right here, because that's the one part that is so hard to get it in the nape of my neck. So I'm going to look down and I'm going to do this. I could hear a little crunching, so I know that I did miss a little bit with that larger guard. So now that feels nice and even. And then keeping with the 3, I'm going to do my little sideburns right here because I want to keep those nice and trim also. And hold on here. And I go around my ears are really hard for me to do. Apparently I have large unbendable ears. So I'll go in with the 3 there also, just to make sure that this stays nice and trim. Now, brush, 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 brush. Pam, brush, brush, brush. Okay, I have my cape removed. I have a decent amount of hair. I mean, it's only been a week since I got my hair cut in San Francisco, but I think it keeps it nice, it keeps it fresh, and it's going to keep it short. So we'll have to do this. We'll do this weekly. You know, we might not spend as much time doing it, but I just don't want my haircut to get away from me because, I mean, Ken is in San Francisco. So I have to travel all the way up there to get a haircut from him. And I can't go that often. So I want to try to keep this as trimmed up as possible. Linda says, how often do you buzz to maintain? Weekly. I find it's much easier to maintain my buzz. Oh my goodness, why did I do that? Why did you not stop me? Because I put more hair on my lips. I sometimes I need constant adult supervision. I do it weekly because, like I said, I find it much easier to maintain this buzz cut than to let it go to where I'm like, ugh, my hair's too long. I kind of lose the line a little bit. And what I mean by losing a line is like he has kind of like a little roadmap for me where my all around my ears are nice and trimmed. And then that's nice and trimmed. Oh, it looks great as it did right after your cute in San Francisco. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Tiggy. Yeah, and like I said, you know, having this buzz cut is. Oh my goodness, I have hair on my back. Having this buzz cut is super easy to maintain, and it's something that I just don't want to lose those great lines that he gave me. So I have something else I want to show you, but let me try to de-hair. Oh, this is the only bad part. What guards? 3, 5, and 7? Yes, April. What I did is, so in order to recap the guards, I did a 5 along the sides right here, like up, like almost to my temple. I did the 5s there. And I have that all done. I did a 7 on the top. Now, this is, again, these are the guard numbers for the Philip Norelco little clipper thing. Ken has a wall, and he used a 1, a 3, and a 5. I used a 3, a 5, and a 7. So it's really going to depend on what brand you use, but it's most of the brands have like from the shortest to the largest, and I'm on the shortest group of guards there is. So I did the 5 along the sides, I did the 7 on the top, and then I did a 3, which is, there's one actually shorter than that, but I did the 3 along the nape of my neck, around my sideburns, and then like my temples, because I wanted that to be nice, a nice trimmed cut. Lauren says, have you ever had your hair go into your eyes while having contacts lenses in? Oh, the pain. No, I've been really fortunate about that. You know, I was using some makeup. What was I using? I was using that green eyeshadow pencil from e.l.f. and that was doing some really weird flakes, and that was going into my eye, and that hurt. Pamela says, do you pay less at the salon now, or do they charge you the same as a cut for longer hair? You know, I don't go to a salon. I go to a straight barber shop. So I get charged. This is where the inequality comes in, is that men's haircuts are cheaper than women's haircuts. And so I get charged a man's haircut price. And there's no fancy foo-foo. I mean, I don't get my hair washed. I don't get my hair blow dried. I go in, he buzzes my hair, and I leave. So man's haircut is a little bit cheaper, and I get charged that way. It's about half the cost of what it used to be when I was getting my haircut at the salon. And here's the funny thing is like when I decided to go gray, I actually talked to my hairstylist. I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to go gray. And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm like, excuse me, I'm sorry, whose head are we talking about? And she's like, no, that's a big commitment. It's going to take a long time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, Yeah, no, it's been really nice meeting you, but I'm going to find somebody who doesn't interject on my vision of my self expression. So it was funny how she was trying to talk me out of it. And I'm like, you know, I'll still pay you the same. Just keep your opinions in your mouth. So I don't know. It was really weird how that happened. Tiggy says it is a lot easier when you aren't having to color it or bleach it every time you cut it. I am blonde at the moment, usually purple. I have his brand. Okay, April, if you have his brand, he used the 1, the 3, and the 5. So he went 1 like in the nape of the neck. He did a 3 up the sides, and then he did a 5 on top. I specifically asked him that question because I wanted to be able to give you that answer. So that's what he used. Julie says it looks great. Thank you so much. Pamela says, cool, just curious. Yeah. And here's the thing it's like I've had women mention to me like they want to find a barber, but they go into barber shops and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't help women." And I'm like, "What barber shop are you going into? What decade? Did you like have a time machine? Did you go back to 1942 and walk into a barber shop in the 40s? I mean, what barber shop says they don't cut women's hair? I mean, it's the same thing whether it's a man or a woman. So I say if you want to go to a barber instead of a hair salon, go into a barber shop and just be like, hey, give me a buzz cut. And that's how I did it the first time. I found what I thought was a cool looking vibe of a barber shop because I didn't go up to San Francisco and I'm like, buzz my hair. And they're like, and so she did a really nice job, but she's like, clip, 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 clip. And she turns me around. I'm like, I look like my dad, and that's not a buzz cut. Can you please buzz my hair? So she did, and I was like, and she's like, well, I wanted to give you the opportunity that if you didn't like it, or if you changed your mind, we could still have a way out. And I'm like, do I look like a woman who's going to change her mind? Buzz it. And I have never looked back. Kathy says, when my husband used to buzz my hair, he would use a vacuum cleaner on me to get rid of the loose hairs. You know what? I'm about ready to stick my head under a vacuum cleaner, but having that cape has definitely saved me. It's not bad. I just took my little brush and I was like, beep, beep, beep. Again with the sound effects. So I want to show you really quick. We had on Monday, we talked about summer recipes and things like that. And I stumbled upon a recipe that I did yesterday that absolutely floored me. And y'all know I'm a vegetarian. And I ran across these recipes for oyster. I can't say oyster. That's another word I can't say. Because if you're new here, I have a speech impediment where I can't say certain words. And oyster is apparently one of those words, but oyster mushrooms. And I ended up breading it like chicken. I got my little milk and I dipped it in the milk and then I rolled it in some seasoned flour and then I put some panko breadcrumbs and I fried it up and I had that with my cauliflower, my sriracha maple syrup, cauliflower over white rice, and it was so yummy. And I want to share this with you because it was amazing. Hold on. I took a picture of it for you. So this was what I had for lunch yesterday. And this right here, these are those oyster mushrooms that I fried up like fried chicken. And it was so good. I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to put barbecue sauce on it, and I'm going to do it like a barbecue chicken sandwich. And then, of course, I have my little cauliflower, and it's on a bed of white rice. This Japanese barbecue sauce is amazing. I put that on the top, and then I cut up that watermelon, and oh my gosh, that was the best watermelon. But I wanted to show you that because yesterday when I was making my lunch, I was like, I got to take a picture of this because I have to share it with them. They're going to love it. They're going to think that it's so yummy looking. And it was yummy looking. So I put the recipe that I followed for the mushrooms on my Pinterest board. It's the one for the morning live show, morning YouTube live show. But that's where I'm putting all of my recipes that I'm sharing with you. I'm putting them over there, so then that way you can find it too if you want to try it. But I like my hair. I am really pleased with these shorter guards. It's taken me, gosh, I first I first buzzed my hair November of last year, and I find myself with each passing haircut going shorter and shorter and shorter, and it is just it's so fun. So fun. That's it. That's all I got to say about that. So tomorrow we're talking about fashion. And what we're talking about fashion is I'm going to give you a little teaser about what we're talking about tomorrow. And I had to buy a pair of used Doc Martens because I needed them for something that's coming up, which I will share more with you when I can. But the the Doc Martens I bought needed to be used. I got the 1460s, the originals, no platform, and they were pretty beat up looking, and I got them for $35. And what I did is I'm restoring them to look good for what I need them for. So I'm going to show you the before pictures. I'm going to show you how I got them to where I have them. Julie, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. And I got them to where I got them, and they're looking really good. And so I'm going to show you that if you want a pair of Doc Martens and you can't afford them, or if you don't want to spend close to $200, you can get a pair of $35 from $35 pair of Doc Martens from Poshmark and restore them, because I'm going to show you how I restored mine. That's one of the things we're talking about tomorrow. We'll be talking some more about fashion, some cool things coming up, but it's going to be a fun show. I think we have a very cool community, and I love each and every one of you. So I'm going to go. I have to go. What was I going to do? I have to go take Indy for a walk, and I got something else really important. It's been one of those mornings. It's been one of those mornings where I woke up and my mind has been going 1,000 different miles in 1,000 different directions, but I've been creative. And also too, I do want to let you know, I did wake up, and remember I told you about that negative inner voice that we all have? Well, I woke up and mine was sitting right there waiting for me. My inner voice was like, hey, good morning, you're going to fail. And I instantly was like, F you. No, I'm not, because I'm a ducking warrior, and I'm not going to fail at what I want to do. And I'm telling you this because I struggle with a very critical inner voice. And it is something that I'm very aware of. I'm very cognitive of it. And when that happens to me, I instantly am like, and I'm like, that isn't going to happen. So I switched it. Now I'm like, have all of this energy, because I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you tell me I'm going to fail. I'm going to prove to you that I'm going to succeed in the things that I want to succeed at. So that's one of the reasons why I'm super animated and I have a lot of energy, is because I am taking control of that negative inner voice and I am making it positive. So on that note, I am saying, have a great day. Remember, be bright, be bold, be brave. I will be back tomorrow morning. I love you all, and have a great, wonderful day. Bye, everyone.